Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Crash Landing. So I haven't gotten my Enderman spawners set up in the city yet, but I have another problem that I want to look at today. So over here in our sifting area, I have set up a huge amount of better barrels and a bunch of these impulse item ducts. Now these are made, well here let's look those up, duct. These are made by putting a regular item duct into a fluid transposer with some energized glowstone. So that really isn't too hard to do. We have all the setups over here. We can see we have the fluid transposer, and we put that in the item duct in there. We put some glowstone in here. It'll melt that stuff down, and oddly enough, because glowstone is meant to be helium, it floats to the top of the tank, which I think is kind of a neat little thing. But what do we have going? I thought I saw some red. Yeah, this guy. Okay, never mind. But yeah, I've got this all set up, and this is sorting out all of the various items that we get from sifting stuff, with the exception of cocoa beans. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this broken cobalt here, and we're going to put the cocoa beans in here. Now we do have some other cobalt stuff in here, but that's okay. But the problem that I am having is that if I put this highly upgraded better barrel with 403 stacks of dust in front of this system so that it starts pulling out of there, it will overfill the hoppers and we'll start having items flying everywhere. And I fall in a hole. But we'll have dust flying everywhere. We'll lose a lot of dust. And I don't want to do that. So I want to upgrade this sieving system so that we can just drop a better barrel here and not have to worry about losing stuff. Now I was working on something here. This was just an idea of locking the hoppers periodically so that we could only get items out every once in a while. That made the problem even worse, so I'm going to have to tear this all out and try again. But I think possibly the best way to do this would be either to use autonomous activators, which are a little bit pricey, or I could set up a factory manager. I haven't decided which one seems more intelligent to do, but at this point, I mean, resources are not much of an issue. We have a huge amount of them. So the autonomous activators may be the route to go because it is a lot simpler to do. But I'll do a little thinking about that, and I'll come back in just a little bit and show you what I've decided. Well, looking at the price of these autonomous activators and the ease of setting them up, I think we're actually going to use those. So I'm going to make 10 of these. For that, we're going to need 10 of these machine frames. So we'll go ahead and make those. Oh, and we are out of Electrum. I think that was Electrum. Yes. So, do we have any Electrum in block form? No, but we do have some Electrum blend. So apparently I'm going to need to cook up a little of that, but we should be able to make the rest of this. So we've got 6 autonomous activators. Go ahead and get at least those 6 set up, and then I'll have to deal with the rest of it. So what I'm going to do, I am going to place these guys down here. We're going to put them at ground level this time around, and we're going to place all 10 of them, 5 in each row facing out. And actually, to fill the room properly, we need 12 of them, not 10. But then we're going to put a sieve in front of each one, and then we can use one line of impulse item ducts here to fill these guys. And we'll need to set all of these to input on their back instead of outputting. And I guess we can just right click to do that instead of left clicking twice. Then we will have to move our barrel. So before we do that though, we want to grab a couple of vacuum hoppers. So this is how we'll be picking up the items. So we're going to take a vacuum hopper on each of these, and we're going to put a chest behind each vacuum hopper when we set this up. But I'll be able to now set this barrel in right here. I'll set this to just accept items. It will pull them out, put them into the autonomous activators. All of that stuff will get sucked up. We will have all of the items that are being sucked in put into the chest that then goes into the sorting system. So I would kind of like to get an applied energistics system to hold all of this, but yeah, we're getting a lot of various items, and these little stones, I feel like those should be just discarded. There's some things here that we need just voided. And I think, do we have a trash can here? I think we do. Yes, we do have a trash can. So there's some things that we're just going to want to void. This is very, very cheap to make, actually. So let's see, what do we want to void? I know we want to void these stupid little stones. Eggs, maybe? We've got tons and tons of eggs. Anything else? Maybe limestone? Yeah. Actually, I think those stones, maybe the eggs would be the only things that we want to void. Possibly gunpowder. What do we have for uses on gunpowder? I know there's not many. We have block of gunpowder. I have yet to figure out how to use this thing. I think it's only used in the steel production in the high oven. But let's see here. No, we want to look at uses. So we have the tiny TNT from Applied Energistics. That really only has a use in making the quantum chamber. Regular TNT, carved glass, Safari Net launcher, which actually having a Safari Net would be kind of Safari Net launcher would be kind of nice. The needle gun ammo, we get so stinking much gunpowder though. So really, fire charges we don't have much in uses. Brewing, yeah, there's just not enough. Maybe we'll avoid that. Gunpowder, flint as well. So stones, eggs, gunpowder, and flint, I'll set those up to be voided. The rest of it will have their barrels just like it does now. Maybe later we can set up some type of a heavier duty storage system, because yeah, even with our ores, some of these are getting close to filling their barrels. So, but anyway, I will get a whole bunch more of this stuff set up, and then I'll come back. So I was looking at the complexity of all of this stuff, all of these better barrels and everything like that, and I think I'm just going to bite the bullet. We're going to go straight into a full-on Applied Energistics system to handle all of this. And I got to thinking, I knew in later versions of Applied Energistics, network chaining was a thing. And so I decided to go into my creative world real quick and try that out. And sure enough, a storage bus on an interface will read all of the items in the system that has the interface into the one that has the storage bus. So we can make ourselves a subsystem here that will only have the sieving and dust and gravel and things like that, but we can have it to where all of those items are available in our main system without them cluttering up the drives. So I am really happy to see that. So we have a whole bunch of stuff that we need to make for Applied Energistics. And I think the first thing that we're going to have to do is go and fire up the pneumatic craft stuff, because I think if we look at the PRC LX100s, yeah, we have 4 of those. We have 1 of the 300s. We will need a minimum of 1 300 because we need to make a new controller, which requires the advanced processor. But we're going to need a drive, and then we're going to need a whole bunch of the high-level storage drives. And we might even have to go into extra cells. So if we take a look at extra cells, we have some much larger drives than standard Applied Energistics. and we can go up to a 16 meg storage drive. Now it's still limited to 63 types, but I am not sure what the storage limit is on it. Now in my creative world, I grew one of the sacred rubber trees, and I've had it harvesting every time that I go in there just to see what kind of storage capacity we have on that 16 meg storage. I have almost 1 million items on that drive in 2 types. I have rubber and rubber logs, almost 1 million of them, and it has not filled the first drive. So I know we can hold a lot of items in there, but we are going to need to make a whole bunch of these PRC LX100s. Now we have our pneumatic craft system set up real good. All of this stuff is fairly quick. We should be able to get all this done right away. So I suppose what I'll do is make about 3 or 4 stacks of the PCBs, and that's going to require me to run these guys for a while because I don't think we have enough of our various things. Yeah, we don't have near enough of the lightning plant seeds. I'm willing to bet, yeah, we're almost out of the squid plant. So yeah, I'm gonna let these guys start running for a while, and then I'll be back. Ah, that wonderful feeling of recording a whole bunch of stuff only to realize that the microphone is muted. So I did a whole bunch of stuff. I got all of the applied energistic stuff set up. I've got my main applied energistic system right here. Now it has all of the items from sieving and everything else in it, or it shows it. But we have very few items actually in our drives. So if we take a look down below, I have a secondary applied energistic system down here with some 16K storage drives in it. Now you can see one of them is already completely full, both with types and bytes, and we're working into the second one now. And then I have an interface here that is attached to this system, and a storage bus that is attached to the main system. This thing is reading all of the stuff off of this system and putting it into the other one. So all of the items that are in here show up in the other one. Now I have here 4 vacuum hoppers that are pulling the items from sieving, which I shouldn't have hopped up there, and putting them into an interface, and that is going straight into the secondary system. Now I've pulled up all of the packaging and crushing and all of the other machines here because I need to get all of that set up now for automatic operation. So I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work on getting all of that set up, and hopefully I'll be back in a little bit. And I guess one thing real quick, I had over 2,000 dust in here. I've been doing something a little different with my sieving, or with my digging. So I made myself a Manualin shovel head. Got this thing up to legendary, or legend, and I put vacuous and flux on this. And so we have a very good shovel here. It insta-mines dust, and then what I do is I just put some pressure plates next to it, and I can dig out a piece of dust and immediately place down a pressure plate, and it will break all of the dust above it. So over in the city, I've actually dug all the way down to bedrock, and I just have, it's basically a full stack plus every time that I do that. So I can get a lot of dust really fast. That's real nice. So I'm going to work on getting this all set up here for automatic stuff, and then I'll be back. And why am I getting such jittery movements here? I'm going to have to look into that too. So I have the auto packaging system set up here fairly close to complete. We don't have all items in here because we're limited to 8 items per precision export bus. But This has developed a new problem, and one that I knew was going to be coming very soon, and that is that we are not producing enough power to run all this stuff. So I have just leadstone energy conduits bringing power from the ender generator over to this area, but as we can see, our energy cell that is holding power for the 2 applied energistic system is slowly losing power. And then we are also slowly losing power over here where we are drawing for the auto packager. Now I set up the 2 survivalist generators here again to try to augment that power just a little, but the fact of the matter is we need a lot more power. So I'm going to have to give that some thought, figure out how we're going to increase our power, and I think I've got a little bit of an idea. And it will involve using some of our wood that we've been getting from the harvester, but it's going to take a lot of stuff to do it. So what I'm thinking is to turn all this wood into charcoal and use that for powering just a huge bank of survivalist generators. Now that would be good. But then also we're going to have to update all of our energy conduits, and that's kind of interesting. The energy conduit, the red part of it's missing. Weird. But yeah, I've got to do something to get more power because power is becoming a major issue here. So, yeah, I think that's probably going to have to be something for another episode. I know that this episode is a little short, but I want to get it out to you guys. It's going to be late as it is. But I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or something that you would like to see me work on, be sure to leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye.